welcome to Creative Moments by G. I'm Georgia and so happy that you're with us tonight. It is Thursday night, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, and this is our YouTube Live. Now, if you're watching us, we hope that you take time to chat, share, like. Remember, we're going to give a surprise patrol gift at the end. We're going to select someone who chats with us. And we will be sending you a gratitude gift because we just appreciate everyone so much coming online and sharing your time with us. Remember, Maudie, my sister, is over in the chat room to answer all your questions and to say hello and chat with you. And guess what? We have a surprise. Well, actually, we have surprise visitors. My brother and his wife, Scott and Gloria, have hopped on just to see what it is we do, and we are so happy to have them. So everybody take a moment and say, hey, Scott, hey, Gloria. We just appreciate everyone stopping by. I'm just going to look at everyone. Penny, Darlene, Phyllis, Carol, Linda, Pat from Alabama. Hey, Pat. Hey, y'all. Stella. We just appreciate everyone coming and stopping by tonight. We have a fantastic show. We are going to be working with a pop-up tutorial. Now, this pop-up card is really easy to make, so it's kind of for beginners, but we're going to take it up a notch. And we are going to show you how to add embellishments to really add to the beauty. Let me show you just a little bit. Here's the card that we're going to make tonight. Look at, okay, it's pretty on the outside, but wait for it. Look at that pop up. Now, I have told you many times that I absolutely love the Wisteria Wishes stamp set, and that's what we're going to be using tonight. We're going to use Wisteria Wishes and our special moments. So remember, you can use anything. You can use your flowers, your animals, to do this pop-up card. You don't have to have this stamp set, but I just love Wisteria Wishes, and so that's what we're doing. Now, if you're watching us on the rebroadcast, take a moment and leave us a message below the video. We would love to know, how are we doing? What card did you like the best? So let's head down to the crafting table and let's get started. We are really excited. I wanted to first share with you, though, some cards that we received. Do you remember a couple weeks ago we made a slimline card? Well, look at this beautiful slimline card that Pat made, Pat from Alabama. Look at how beautiful that is. Just absolutely love this card, Pat. Thank you so much for sending it. And we have another one from Carol that she sent us. Look at that cute little hippopotamus. Oh my goodness, and he's sitting in a bathtub. Love the style that you created, Carol. Thank you so much for sending us those beautiful cards. Okay, so let's get busy. The first thing you'll need to do is cut your base card. Now, this is just a regular base card, which is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We're gonna put this to the side because we are now going to create the inside of the pop-up card. Now, the inside is kind of like making another base card, but as if it's a first mat. So it's just a little bit smaller. So it is 8 1/4 by 5 1/4, and we're gonna score it at 4 1/8. So let's go ahead and just bring that, and I'll write that, just put that right below my picture, so in case you want to just copy that, you can. So we are going to score this at 4 1/8. And here we go. Now make sure you move this cutting blade out of the way. You don't want to cut your card in half, right? So let's go ahead and score that. And now we're just going to fold it over. Make sure that your ends match perfectly. You might want to go ahead and get your bone folder and just match up those edges. And now for a pop-up card, what we have to do is create a triangle right here. And the way to do that is simply measure 2.5 at the top and 2.5 at the side. So you can, if you wanted to use your trimmer, you could do that, or you could just take a pencil and mark 2.5 right here. Just make a little mark, get my pencil going. And then we're simply going to come down and do 2.5 as well. So line that up, make sure it's perfectly lined up, and just put a little tick mark right there. Now all we have to do is put it in our trimmer, and we're just going to line it up in the canal right here, the first tick mark and the second tick mark right here, and we're just going to score it. So let's get that scored. Make sure you don't cut it, and move that to the side. Okay. So now all we're going to do is crease this, and then we're going to erase our tick marks. So just give this a good crease. Bring in your eraser to get those marks gone. And now we're going to have the inside of our pop card. Now the way you get that is we're just going to pop this up with your finger, and it just folds over very nicely. And the way you get that is you really give it a good crease, and that's why it just pops up so easily. And so now all we have to do is add this to the center of our card. That's why I said this is an easy pop-up card for beginners, because it is just so easy just to get this card made, and then you can make it as detailed as you want. So let's go ahead and glue this in, and you want to make sure that it's right up against that score line. So let's go ahead and make sure that we have our border all the way around the same distance, and let's bring in our glue, and we are simply going to add some glue on this panel and then shut our card, and it will glue it down for us so we don't have to worry about it. Now stay with us till the end, because we have 4 cards to show you of stepped up pop-up cards, and just fold it over and hold it. Just give it a hold, because this is wet glue, and you want to make sure that it adheres really well to the card. And see, look at that, so perfectly. Now we're simply going to turn it over, bring in our glue again, and get it glued down. Now fold this over, and there we have it. Now open it up, and there we have our pop-up card. How easy was that? Now it can get difficult or stay easy. You can always stamp what you want on it. I'm going to add some wisteria right here. So I'm simply going to take my paper, any paper, and I love this stamp. We're going to use Blackberry Bliss and Gorgeous Grape. The Blackberry Bliss is going to give us our detail, our dimension to this beautiful wisteria. So look at this. Just going to stamp it. I just love that. I love it. Have you ever grown wisteria? I see it in all the movies, and it is just so beautiful. But we're not finished yet, because wait until you see what happens when we use the next stamp. If you have not used this stamp, you're going to love it. Now we're going to bring in the detail to our wisteria. And we're just going to stamp. Look at that. Made all the difference. Oh, I just love it. And with this stamp set, when you buy the bundle, you get some really pretty other stamps. Let me show you. Look at this. You can turn this into flowers by turning this the other way, and it makes a different flower. So pretty. And now we're simply going to bring in our green, and we're going to stamp our leaves. And so we're going to use Granny Apple Green just to keep it bright and cheerful, right? So we're just going to tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. You want to make sure you get enough ink on there. Just going to hold it for good contact. We're going to tap, tap, tap again. And I'm just going to take a moment and see. Let's see, Phyllis, Pat, just seeing if we had anybody else. Stella came on board. Hey, Stella. And there we have our leaves. So now, let's see. We need to cut these out. So all you have to do is put it in your cutting machine and cut it out. But by the miracle of live TV, we have ours cut out. So here we go. Look at ours. We have them already cut out. Now, what's important on your pop-up cards is how you actually place these cards. So let's look at the one that we already did. So we just put it on the top, but you want to make sure when you close it, you see how it doesn't go over the edge. It does not go over the edge. So that's what's important. That's what's key when you're doing this. So let's go ahead and get this. And, you know, we may need to cut this. I'm not really sure. Or we might. I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this very last little stem off. And I'm going to put this right up top, just like that. Now watch when I shut it. It doesn't show up here and it doesn't show on the side. So we're just going to put a little bit of glue right here on the edge. And then we will just glue it down. No freezing allowed. It's not freezing, is it, Stella? Tell me it's not. We have had some freezing problems in the past, and it's not raining, so we're hoping we don't have any. No freezing. We're so happy not to have freezing. Now, I think I'm going to just cut this one off so that we have just the two. Just going to wiggle it a little bit. And we're going to add that right there. So we're just going to put a little bit of adhesive right at the top. And add that. And oh, this makes such a beautiful card. This could be a happy anniversary card. This could be just anything. Now we're going to go ahead and add some more leaves on this side. So once again, I'm just going to cut off that stem. We're going to add it right there at the top. And then we have to decorate the outside. And oh, we have done something with some paper that you are going to love. Now, let's go ahead and just shut it and make sure it shuts. Okay, we can see that it's not going over the edge. So it is freezing, huh, Carol? I don't see mine freezing. Maudie, is it freezing in there? No. Okay, well, dadgummit. Sorry, Carol. Now, we're going to go ahead and add two, so I'm going to cut that apart. And we're just going to add this right here, right there on that part. Now, we do have to twist it a little bit so that that doesn't get in the way. So let's get a little bit of adhesive. Add that, making sure that we take into consideration that crease right there. Okay, so we have our top part done, and we have these little bits right here we're going to keep. And now we're going to stamp our beautiful message. And typically I would have stamped it before, but I'm going to go ahead and stamp it right there. And I'm going to use Blackberry Bliss because it's a dark, rich color. So let's go ahead, tap, tap, tap. You don't want to get too much on there. And I'm just going to test it on this paper to make sure it's a good clean. Oh, there we go. Beautiful. I'm going to open it up. Just stamp it right at the bottom. And we missed a little bit right there, but I will go over that a little bit later. Now, you can actually add some more. I think I'm going to go ahead and add some wisteria down here just to add a little bit of leaf, just to give it some more color. And let's just do a little bit of the leaves, right? Like right here. Okay. I'm going to bring in. Now, I would recommend that if you have a stamp that's giving you some trouble, go ahead and use your Stamparatus, because then you can always make sure that you're always going to get a good, clean stamp, right? So we're going to bring in our gorgeous grape, and we're just going to stamp off just a little bit, just to give us some additional color on this card. And then we're going to close this, bring in our dimension. Love, love this. Look at that. So pretty. And now let me show you the front and how we're going to decorate it. This is so pretty. I want to show you this one. On this one, we simply took some DSP and we simply cut it apart and we put a band right here. Well, we took this same paper and we ran it through our embossing machine, and I want to show you the difference. Look at that beautiful paper. Isn't that gorgeous? I love that paper. And we are simply going to add it right here on the front. And because this is a 3D embossing folder, remember, you need to put enough glue to really get in those crevices. So we're going to do that. We have enough time to wiggle it around just a little bit and really press down. Okay, and now we're going to simply add this right to the top. And then we simply need to create our band for the front that will cover up this gap that we're going to have. Not to worry. And I do not see my gorgeous grape, so let me get a piece. And we're simply going to cut a 4-inch by about 1/2 inch. And that's going to create our band. So let's get that. We're going to add this right to the front, just to cover up that space. Oh, Melissa, hey, welcome. And we would love to see your card when you try it. So remember, if you do one of our cards, if you could post it right beneath our video on Facebook, we would love to see it. Or you can always just email it to me. I have people email it too. So we're going to put just a little bit of glue right here. Right on the edge. That's fine too. It's just I would love for everybody to enjoy your card. So let's go ahead. Just get that right there. And now we have that. I need to stamp this, and we're going to use our punch, our story label, to get this punched out. So we're just going to take a piece of white paper and we're going to stamp it. And once again, we're going to use that dark, rich Blackberry Bliss for the front of our card. So let's just get that. Stamp it. And I'm going to stamp it one more time, just in case I didn't give enough space. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to bring in that punch. We're going to turn it upside down. If you've not worked with punches before, we just line this up right here, put everything in the center, and then we punch. Now, I don't like to just put this on the card because I think it kind of just falls into the card. I like to go ahead and get just a little bit of color on this. So let's go ahead and take our gorgeous grape and just kind of dip it in just a little bit, just like this. And it just, you can't even see it, but it's enough to where it gives you that little definition on the end of it. So it just kind of stands out a little more. Okay. Now we're going to set it up on dimensionals. So grab those dimensionals and let's add this to the front of our card. And the reason we're going to add it up on dimensionals is we want to put some of the beautiful wisteria underneath it. So it really does need to be added up. Added up on some dimensionals. So let's just get this right in the center. Okay. We have a leaf that we're simply going to cut off the end. We're going to put this about right. Let's see. I think I'm going to put it right there. Oh, perfect. So we're going to go ahead and add some glue and get that added. And right there, just kind of press it down, and then we're going to bring in our beautiful wisteria. Look at that. So pretty. I love this. What was your, hey Judy? Card base before stamping it, please. Okay. We're going to go ahead and get that held down, and there we have it. I love just putting this through the 3D embossing folder and the difference that it made. It is amazing how it really changes the structure of the paper. Look at that. Very easy. Can fix that later, not a problem. Added some right there. Okay, now we're on new ground here. We're gonna take another card. We're gonna make one more card. And this time we have used this beautiful, what's this DSP called? Rustic Harvest. And we've actually cut some of the flowers out. That's gonna be our embellishment that goes on the inside. This is so super easy, this one. We're just using DSP. So we already have our base card cut, which is the 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. And now we're simply going to do the inside pop-up. And remember, it's a little bit different in the dimension. It's 8 1/4 by 5 1/4, and we're gonna score at 4 1/8. Now I wanna remind you, you don't have to take down these measurements because they will be listed over on creativemomentsbyg.com. They actually will go live at 7:30, so they should already be there, possibly almost. So I'm going to put this at 4 1/8. Make sure you move this cutting blade, and we're going to score. Now we're just going to fold over, make sure everything looks good. It does. So I'm going to move this over, and we're simply measuring 2.5 and 2.5 on the side. That's going to give us our crease that we need for our pop-up, right? So let's get that. And this is super easy. If you just use DSP, well, you don't have anything to color. Everything just goes together so quickly. We're just going to measure 2.5 here too, right along the side. And that tells us exactly what to put in the canal and give us our good score line. So let's go ahead and do that. We're adding this to the canal, that tick mark, just twisting it to where we have this one in the canal. Make sure they're really lined up, and then simply crease it. Score that line really well. Bring it out, and now we're simply going to fold it over. You want to go ahead and give yourself a good crease because this allows you to very easily create that pop-up. Now make sure and remove your tick marks. And simply put your finger right in the middle and fold it over. And there you have it. Super easy. Now this time, before I do this, I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to put "You Are Such a Blessing." I'm going to do that before I stick it down, just to make sure it's exactly what I want. And I'm going to do this in Mary Merlot, because I think it's so pretty. And this looks like Mary Merlot, doesn't it? This beautiful flower right here. So let's go ahead and just tap, tap, tap. And I'm going to put it right here. Just right at the bottom. Well, first I'm going to test it. I always want to test it. Yep, looks good. And hold it for good contact. And just hold it there. Just give it a second. Ah, there we go. So pretty. And you know something else we can do? In that set, we have this cute little line. Now, what it looks like is you just put it right there, and it just kind of sets it apart, right? I really like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just set it right there. Bring it up. So cute. And now we're simply going to adhere this to the inside. So make sure that we have some paper down or your silicone mat when you're gluing, because you don't want to get it on your design table, right? So let's go ahead and line this up. Make sure that we have the border that we want at the top and at the bottom, and that it's pushed all the way to the score line. And let's go ahead and get some glue on there. And we're simply going to fold this over and hold it. I love this Cajun craze. This is going to be so pretty. Look, with that beautiful DSP. Love it. So we're just going to kind of push on it. Now open it up. Fold it back. Simply add your glue to the back panel. And fold this over and hold it. We are creating pop-up cards for beginners, for advanced, because it really depends, right? The embellishments that you add, wait till you see some of the cards that we made. They're they're stepped up a little bit, right? But I think it'll give you some inspiration on what cards you want to make. So we're going to show those at the end. Okay, and there we have it. Now, I have not done this yet, so I really don't know how we're going to cut this. I'm thinking I need to cut this one off, I can see. And I need to maybe cut, let's see. Trying to see. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this flower off right here, because I can see that is definitely going to be too high for the card, but we can use it. We will use it. Now let's see what happens if we do this. Okay, we can see that it doesn't come out, right? So we can actually do this, or we could do two here like this, which I think I might rather do. So let's go ahead and cut these apart. And that's what's so great when you're fussy cutting. You can actually cut it out, and you don't have to color this if you don't like to color. We're going to go ahead and put this right here so that it pops up, making sure that it doesn't go past this, so we can see where we need to put our glue. Right here. And you want to make sure you don't get glue where it's going to stick your card down. You do not want that. So there we have this. Okay, perfect. And now we're just going to add some flowers over here too. Let's get that added. Let's see. We can add this and maybe add this down there. Oh, perfect. I love this rustic DSP, Rustic Harvest. So pretty. And now I'm just going to add this right here just to take away some of that white paper, that vanilla paper. We're just going to add a little bit more flowers right there. And look, we close it. Perfect. Open it up and you have those beautiful flowers. Now let's go ahead and decorate the front. On this one, all we have to do is simply lay down the DSP. Oh, Judy, you're leaving us, I guess. Yes, watch the rebroadcast. You can always do that. Leave us a comment. We would love that. You know, you do, Waddy. You do have to play around with those flowers to get them exactly where you want them. Okay. And now look what I've done. I used the stamp in the Hello Harvest, and there's actually a die that cuts this out. Isn't that lovely? So pretty. We are simply going to add this to the front of our card with dimensionals, of course. We add those dimensionals just to give us some height. So let me add a dimensional. Get that right on the front. And this says, wishing you the loveliest day. So I'm just going to put it right in the center. Now you could always add some additional embellishments if you wanted to. On this right here, we could add this to the inside. This is part, which I think I will. I think it just adds some interest to this card. So let's get this added. And this is simply from the DSP. I cut it out. They had this beautiful pine cone. And so there we have it. Okay, let's get this all cleaned off. And let's look at our cards. Okay, here we go. I love these two cards. I love how simple the DSP made it. Thank you, Judy. Thank you so much. Now, here is the one that we made earlier, and I want to show you the difference again. Look at the difference that the 3D embossing folder made. Look at that dimension right there. It's very flat here, but it just really adds to the dimension, so I love that. Okay, now look at this. Who loves butterflies? We all love butterflies. Look at this beautiful one. You pop it up, and there we have some butterflies. And this is from the Butterfly Brilliance that you stamp one page and you cut out a bunch of butterflies at once, which makes it so nice. But they pop up. Now think about which card you like the best so far. Okay, look at this one. Look at how pretty that is. Once again, we used our DSP. We double matted it. Of course, added our little gems. Can you see those? Open it up and look at that. The little house pops up. This is great for someone who is going right into buying a house, welcoming them into their new home. Love that card. And finally, we just had to try to use the Simply Succulent stamp set. And this is actually a die cut that cuts out. And we added the leaves and the actual ferns. And you open it up and there you have it. So you can make it as detailed or as easy as you want, like we made this one and we just added DSP. You will have to let us know which is your favorite. Okay, crafters, I have a winner. Let me see. Okay, so we are randomly selecting. Let me see, round and round we go. Let's see. Okay. I have to push that button. It takes a while. Wish I could sing that song, Round and Round. Here we go, Judy! Yay! Take a moment, everyone, and congratulate Judy. Judy, make sure that you go to our blog, which is on creativemomentsbyg.com. Give us your address, and we will send you your gratitude gift. Now, you get to select which cards you want. So watch the rebroadcast, look at the last screen, and tell us which of these lovely cards you would like. Well, crafting friends, thank you so much for spending your time with us tonight. It means the world to us. We love you so much. We want you to go out and make it a fantastic weekend. We hope to see you next week, Tuesday at 10, Thursday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Take care. Bye-bye.